Well, hello and welcome, incoming spring 2024 LAPU students, to our orientation webinar. We are so excited that you are here as a part of our learning community. My name is Andrew Lindstrom. I am a success coach at Los Angeles Pacific, and I'm joined today by Tara Lopez. Tara, do you want to say hello?
I do. I want to say hi to all of you that are here. We are so excited for you to get started on your education journey. I've been with LAPU for a little over 10 years now and served alongside Drew for, I think, a little over 7. And we have seen a lot of students come through these, hallowed halls and find their way into the future that they want to build for themselves. And so this orientation is meant to set you up and help you to get anchored in the tools that you need, the technology that you're going to be navigating, and the resources that are going to support you. So just let us be the first to say welcome. We are so glad that you're here.
We truly are. And this is what we believe a vital part of your getting comfortable and getting settled in as a new student here, this orientation experience. And so we're going to be going over a lot of information with you as it concerns your online classroom, your administrative part of being a student. What do the finances look like? What does accessing my course history and my transcripts look like? All of these things. We're going to try and share just some kind of some spiritual and some experiential wisdom with you as well. As Tara said, we've been doing this a long time, and we hope to share maybe some really helpful pointers that can lead you and guide you towards not only succeeding in your classes, but also flourishing as a student at LAPU. Again, we're so glad you're here and that you're a part of our community. And so, as we said, this is a vital part of getting settled in. And there are really three crucial steps to completing orientation as an LAPU student. The first one, if you're tuning into this webinar right now, you are checking that box. So we want you
Good
to view
job.
this webinar. Great job. Again, this is going to be kind of about an hour-long presentation going through some of this material. We think of this as kind of a passive experience of soaking in some of this content. So you can kick back on your computer screen or your phone, however you're viewing this, and just follow along with us. Grab a tasty beverage and a snack if you like, and just kind of settle in, get cozy. And we're going to be trying to go through a lot of this information with you that's going to be really helpful, we hope. So that's step number one, the orientation webinar. Step number two, we call the New Student Orientation 100. And if that sounds like a course code, that's because it's intentional. We tried to engineer an actual course that we're going to show you in a little bit from now that acts like an LAPU course, looks aesthetically like an LAPU course, but its sole purpose is to go through some more of these things in a little bit more of an active approach. We said the webinar, again, is kind of more passive. You're kicking back and viewing. The NSO 100, which you can access from the homepage of our course portal, is going to be a little bit more clicking around and getting some muscle memory, engaging with some of these sites so that you can start building that experience up as well. So that orientation course is going to be another vital part of this experience, we think. And then the third one is going to be talking with your success coach and just getting acquainted and asking questions and letting them know how you're feeling, how you're doing, and what your goals are so that they can partner alongside of you throughout this journey, of which it truly is a pleasure and a privilege to get to walk alongside of you in. And I'm going to borrow the language of my co-presenter, Tara, in saying it truly is a holy endeavor that we think of when we get to partner with you in this. So thanks for letting us be a part of it. And now Tara is going to tell you a little bit about our LAPU app.
One of the ways we want you to feel connected to your university and to your fellow classmates and just the things that are available to you here is through the app. We know that most people live on their phones every day. And so we have tried to take this and put it straight into your hands where you can get to everything you need to manage your life as a student. So up on your screen at the moment are two QR codes. We want you to use those to scan the correct version of the app from your phone so that you can download it. It'll take you straight into either the Google Play or Apple Store. So download that. We're going to leave it up for just another second. The things that you can do in the app are really most of everything that you can do on the website and some. So not only can you get to account information or your classrooms or schedule appointments with your coach or figure out how to fill out your FAFSA, like you can, there's a hub that just takes you to all these things. But the thing that you get on the app that you don't get anywhere else is a community. There are student feeds where you can talk to each other about anything that's happening, and you can connect to one another to encourage each other or to ask questions and kind of crowdsource inspiration and ideas and solutions. And that's 24/7. So I want to point out what you're going to see when you log in to the app. So if you've worked on downloading it, take a second and just look up at your screen. On the left is the home page. You'll notice that the icons along the bottom, they shift in color when you're on that page. And so this page is your home screen. It's very customizable. Notice the favorites block at the top. You have an edit button. It's really helpful once you know your favorite things. But I recommend that you start on the guide page, which is on the right-hand side of this presentation. And down below, you can see that it's that second little icon now that's blue. It looks like kind of like a Greco-Roman column building type thing, to use technical terms. And here is where you can access everything, is on the guide page. And so when you hop into the app, just remember, click into the guide first. That will be the most comprehensive place for you to begin. If you were to keep journeying along the icons at the bottom of your page, Drew, if you could pop to the next one. Oh, it's not there anymore. If you could journey along the icons along the bottom, you'll notice the middle one looks like a chat bubble. That's where you'll find the student feed. That's just a constant conversation between all the students. It's fantastic. The little bell is your notifications item that shows you if you have any messages or activity, if anybody has liked your post or responded with a comment. And then the person icon, the last one on the right of the screen on the bottom, is your profile. And that's where you go to join communities. And we have communities for lots of different groups of people. So if like you're a mom and you're a student at LAPU, we got a group for you. You are affiliated with the military in any kind of a way, we have a group for you. If you are a psychology major, we have a group for you. There's a lot of different ones. I won't name them all, but you get the idea. You can find your people if you head down into that profile button and join some of the community groups there. We know that being a part of the community is something that helps you go the distance. It's really, really hard to do anything all by yourself. We don't think you should. It's not a good recipe for success. Not only do success coaches and professors and assistant deans come alongside you, but we want you guys to come alongside each other. There's something really special about sharing this journey with others who are like you, managing all of life and juggling family and work and homework. So get to know each other, stay connected, encourage each other, use it on the app.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tara. Yeah, the app is the absolute best way to engage in community groups and student feed and all of those things. It's a great way to kind of stay plugged in and connected in an online environment. So we hope that you download it and utilize it, especially because also, as Tara mentioned, you can get into your courses mobily from wherever. If you happen to be in a long line at the grocery store, maybe you got 10 minutes, you can pop into your course room and maybe read a little bit or write a snippet of a discussion post if you want. So it's great to have your school experience with you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, that was the app. And now we're going to navigate to our hub of a website, we can call it. We call it myLAPU. And the website, as you can see here up in my address bar, is my.lapu.edu. So if you can type that into your computer when you get the chance, doesn't have to be now. Just remember, it's pretty simple, my.lapu.edu. Then you can star that, you can bookmark that, you can make that your starting point for wherever you need to go in the university. And you can see here in the upper right, it recognizes me, who I am, Andrew Lindstrom. And the same is going to be true for you. As long as you are logged into your LAPU email, and we work through Gmail accounts. We're going to get you set up when you become an admitted student with a school email account. As long as you're logged in to your email, you can get logged in to this myLAPU site and authenticate yourself through your Gmail account, and then you can get wherever you need to go in the university. So again, bookmark this page and have your email up, and you can get anywhere. So we're going to start and just give you a little brief overview of where we're going. We're going to start in the upper left with courses. We're going to kind of start with that exciting, like, what does my classroom look like? Where am I going to be spending the vast majority of my time? And then we're going to kind of rotate around clockwise. We're going to go through our student services site, which is kind of more of that business admin part of being a student at LAPU, transcripts, course history, financial aid, all of those good things, forms and petitions. And then we're going to circle around to support. And we got some good links there for you to check out, as well as resources. And we're going to end it up there towards the top of resources. So without further ado, let's click into courses. All right. And you can see here, again, it's asking me to authenticate using my LAPU email. So we're going to do that. And it says, welcome back, Andrew. Fantastic. And I'm going to navigate to the home page here, the home tab. And this is what it's going to look like on your home screen. I'm going to show you a couple things here. I might actually just try to minimize my screen a little bit because it's showing up kind of zoomed in. That's a little bit better, I think. And so this is what it's going to look like for you. You're going to see your dashboard up at the top. You might have noticed that it just kind of auto brought us to the dashboard there, and then we then navigated to the home page. So you might take note of that. But within your dashboard, you're going to see your courses. You're going to see your community groups. You're going to see all of those things that you are a part of in the university. And then next to it, you can see the NSO 100 that we mentioned just a moment ago. So why don't we go ahead and click into there? You think that would be good, Tara? We'll just jump into the NSO 100.
Absolutely.
Okay. And this is what our new student orientation course looks like at LAPU. And again, this is not going to be for a grade. This isn't technically mandatory. However, we can't stress enough how valuable it is to click in here and go through all of these different modules and get your certificate of completion for this orientation course. It is going to set you up to be able to start with kind of a running start out of the gate. And you're going to feel comfortable, you're going to feel familiar. And if you put in the work with this course, that's going to really serve you in getting off to that great start that we all want you to have at LAPU. So we can't stress it enough. Please go in here and get logged in and go through this course at your convenience. You don't have to do it all at once. You can go through it in different chunks, just as you would an online course. That's totally fine. But it'll probably take you, what, Tara, about like between like 2 hours or?
About 2 hours. I think if you're super savvy, you might fly through it a little faster. If you're really uncomfortable, it might take you a little longer. But as Drew said, you can stop and it will save your progress. And so you don't have to do it all in one chunk.
So let's check out what this kind of looks like too. So we click into the welcome tile there, and it takes us to this page where you're going to watch a video. I believe our director of student success is welcoming you to the university on this video. And so we can do that. We can then use this little arrow button to either go back to our home page, and it brings us right back to kind of that course overview, or we can just go to the next module and click on that right arrow, and it'll take us to module number 1, titled Navigating the Online Environment. And you also notice probably that there are some percentage bars located in the lower left of each of these modules. And those are there to serve you in telling you how much of that module you've completed. So the idea, of course, is to go from 0 to 100 by going through, clicking on everything that it's asking you to click on, such as a website tour. We do that. It's going to bring you to this page where it goes through the myLAPU site, much like we're doing right now, and then kind of an overview of courses, and then it'll take you through email and student services and so on and so forth. And then if we go back from that point to module 1, then it's going to then let you know, or I'll go to the home page here. It'll then let us know that we're now approximately 14% complete with the module. So we're slowly but steadily making our progress so that we go through and sufficiently and comprehensively go through each one towards completion there in the bottom right. So we hope that that serves you well and that you can find the time to invest in this so that you have every opportunity to get off to the best possible start that you can. Tara, did you want to mention anything more about the NSO 100?
I think I'll just say that if you are registered for ISTU 101, Success in the University, it is actually an assignment for you. But lots of you are here and you're not enrolled in a degree program, you're not taking that class. So I think whether it's required for class or not, it is still worth doing. But this is the thing that will earn you points for that particular class if you are enrolled in it. So
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for that note. Yeah. And many of you are going to be enrolled in that introductory course. So it will behoove you even more so from a grade perspective to get in there and complete this when you can. So again, we hope that that serves you very well. Okay. Now, let me point out a couple of other possibly valuable things that you're going to get from the course portal here. You're going to notice that if you scroll down a little bit past devotions here, that you'll see a course syllabi search box. This is going to be hugely important to you throughout your entire journey at LAPU. And through here, you can access any syllabus for any class that we offer at the university. So let's just look at that real quick and use ISTU 101 as an example. It's a good example course. And if we just click enter using that course code, then it's going to pull up the results for that course. And so we see a couple different links here. Now we're currently wrapping up the Fall 2 session. So that one is still available to our Fall 2 students. But the next one, the one that you all are interested in, if you are a Spring 1 student, and if you're Spring 2 entering in March, then that one's going to show up here as well. But you want to click on the one that is relevant to you and your start of course. So we'll do that for Spring 1. And this is what a syllabus will look like at LAPU. We're going to go through and tell you what the course is about. We're going to tell you a little bit about our mission and our purpose. Very importantly and relevant to you, we're going to let you know what books and materials you need. So you might just quickly head there and logistically see what you need to do in your preparation for that course. And then don't neglect some of the things beyond that either. There's some really valuable insights into what the course is going to offer in terms of assignments and outcomes, and then how you're going to be assessed on some of those things throughout the course as well. Tara has mentioned this before as kind of a secret decoder ring for professors to refer to, because Tara actually does teach a couple courses at LAPU. And when we get to the rubric here towards the bottom, this is letting us know what constitutes an exemplary assignment versus maybe an assignment that's in the beginning or the developing stage. So if you want to know more of those particulars, and I hope that you do, please head to the rubric and you can see how your professors are judging what your work will be assessed from on each assignment. You want to mention anything more about that, Tara?
you covered it well.
Okay, great. So those are syllabi at LAPU. Now, another thing I want to mention, let's head into a course and let's show you what a course looks like. You're going to see here on my screen, I'm going to get a little sidetracked again. You're going to see announcements. These are university-wide announcements. You're going to, hopefully take note of that. And you're asking yourself probably a very important question too. Where can I find my courses once I'm on my course portal? Well, we already mentioned one way where you can find them. You can find them up in your dashboard. But we don't actually recommend that that is the way that you access your courses. We actually find that it's a little bit easier and a little bit more intuitive to access it from either down here in this little tab over on the right of your screen where it says My Courses. And also your learning communities are going to show up here too. So similar to your dashboard, you'll have access to everything. And Tara, do we still have the side of the screen where to the left that we offer it, or no?
It's along the top now, Drew. It's where it says my courses next to dashboard.
My courses. Perfect. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So we can also head to that tab up at the top. What used to be on the left is now I like that better actually.
It is nice.
So there you go. It's all going to be there. So there are a number of places where you can access your courses. We want to make that very accessible to you and very easy to get to. So whether you click the My Courses tab, whether you click your dashboard, or whether from your home tab, you scroll down a little bit and you see the link to your courses there. That's going to be where you can find them. Now, important note, your courses aren't going to populate or be accessible to you until the Saturday before you start your session. And so that's going to be true of any session that you start at LAPU. So oftentimes we can get students who call in a little bit frazzled saying, I don't see my course yet. What's wrong? And 99% of the time, it's just that it's maybe the Friday before the session has started or a Thursday, and it's not quite hit that Saturday afternoon yet, a couple days before that Monday start when you have access. So don't be alarmed if your course links are not showing up in those spots just yet. But we are, as I said, going to access a course. Let's try and do ISTU again. And the best I can do is one of our current Fall 2 courses, but that's okay. And let's head into, is it humanities, I think?
Yes.
Okay. And let's just head to Professor Lopez's course.
May as well.
So you can see her here. She's off to the right with a little video introducing herself as the professor of this course. All of your professors are going to be doing that. We hope that that's just a warm welcome where you can see and just get to hear a little bit of your professor. They'll be able to share a little bit about themselves and how you can contact them and get helpful support throughout your course. And then again, we scroll down a little bit, if this looks a little bit familiar to what you saw a moment ago in the NSO 100, that's for good reason. Again, we tried to pattern that orientation course like a real classroom at LAPU. So we have those same modules, except now they're titled week 1 through week 8. And every session is going to be 2 months, 8 weeks of coursework. So they're all going to kind of look like this. And we recommend that the best way that you go through your classes each week is from the homepage of your course, just like we are now. Just click on that week that you're working on. Click on week 1 if it's week 1, and then that folder is going to unfold, and you will be able to see everything that you need to do, from getting off to a good start to an intro to the review section of what you need to be reading and watching, all the way towards the bottom of that week when you'll see your assignments and your discussions and things like that you'll be doing. So that is what a weekly folder is going to look like at LAPU. And we just recommend that you start from the top and then kind of scroll your way and work your way down until you get to those deadlines towards the bottom. Now, discussions are going to be an integral part of what you're doing in every single class at LAPU each week. And so you can expect that every single week in your classes. That's going to be basically taking the place of what a classroom conversation would look like in a brick and mortar traditional school. Now, this being an online school, we have to try to give you the best version of that we can. And we find that the discussions are the best way to do that. So each week, we're going to give you a prompt to engage with and reflect on. And that's going to be due in the middle part of the week, usually by Thursday night. And then you're going to have a couple extra days to interact with your classmates and comment on what they're saying and ask them questions and push the issue a little bit, bring in some research into it, comment on what they're saying, make it a learning experience through the discussions. And that's going to act as a really robust and just enriching experience each week in your classes. And then likely you'll also have another assignment that's due towards the end of the weekend, usually by Monday, 8 a.m., which is the cutoff point between when week 1 ends and week 2 begins, and when week 2 ends and week 3 begins, and so on and so forth, Monday at 8 a.m. So usually your final, oftentimes bigger assignments that you've been working on for that week aren't going to be due until then. All right. Let me pause and turn back to Tara. Tara, is there anything else you want to mention about the classrooms at LAPU?
I think I'd love to draw students' attention to the professor's announcements.
Okay.
On the top of the page, the latest post always shows up first. And it's really, really important that you're constantly looking for those announcements to come through from your professor. So please pay attention to that. And please do navigate using the weekly views and make sure you click every link. Drew, if you could go down just a little more, like you'll notice under each section, there are, community forums you can participate in. It gives you a link to the NSO 100, which Drew just highlighted for you. But then every video is part of what is informing your thinking. So make sure that you take 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 seconds to watch each video. And then below that, there are more learning materials that are there. Course mechanics, the academic journey. Do you have a growth mindset? It's an assessment that you take. All of those links in every class, every link matters so much. So don't just gloss over them and get to the discussion. Pay attention to all of these things that are informing your thinking about it. If there's reading to do in one of your classes, it'll be listed at the top under the review section. And that's really how you have input to shape your thinking. And then the discussion forum is you kind of fleshing that out. So
perfect. That's a great note. And on the note of announcements, I mean, you're going to notice too, when we scroll back up here, that Professor Lopez, our very own, these are very consistent. We see one from November 20. We see one from the 16th, from the 7th. So weekly, those notes and updates are going out to students. And again, we highly, highly encourage you to take just the minute or two to click into that. There's going to be some great, important insights into what you're doing for that week, and maybe even how you can be doing it in a way that is efficient and will work really well for you. And notes that might end up saving you a half hour to an hour of your time throughout that week if you just take those extra minutes to pop in and see what your professors are trying to tell you about that respective week. So great note. And then you're going to see some of these tabs up here at the top of the classroom too. We tried to provide you with these little icons and tabs that will take you to maybe some helpful resources and support that you might need for the class. Again, you can access that course's syllabus. You can use the Ask the Prof feature here, although we also recommend, if you have a question for your professor, emailing them is best too. So keep that in mind.
or text. A lot of
or
professors are much quicker to get back to you via text, FYI.
There you go. And coaches too, side note. So texting is our friend. There's community forums, study rooms. That's a really important note too. You can pop in there and try and coordinate a time with some of your classmates to maybe pop into a Google video meeting and talk about some of the things that you might be doing. So do utilize that as well to your advantage. And then links to tutor.com and online counseling as well. We partner with tutor.com. Every student at LAPU gets 240 minutes or 4 hours of tutoring support logged onto their account each semester, and it's use it or lose it. So we recommend that you use it if you can and get some of that support. And we're going to show you more about some of the mechanics of that in just a moment, but just know that you can access that through this link. And then also we partner with a company called Timely Care that is a great company that provides therapeutic services to our students for mental health, and they will be able to link you to a counselor or a therapist in your state, licensed in your state, and you get 12 sessions throughout a year, 12 therapy sessions, just by nature of being enrolled at LAPU. Every session that you are enrolled, you have access to those sessions. And we're going to show you a little bit more of that in a moment too. But all of those helpful course resources. And then at the very top of the screen, we have some more helpful tabs for you. And this is kind of regardless of what class it is. This is just like, and some of those other tabs were too that we just went over, but we tried to provide just some of these general, what's going to be most helpful for you. So if you click on that, again, we give you access to tutor.com. There's stuff on here for, how to view discussion and assignment feedback. The Writing Resource Hub, which has a lot of great links for kind of self-help on APA formatting and writing and essay templates and things like that that you're going to find really helpful as a student. So again, it's one of those things where if you just take the extra time to pop into it, similar to your announcements, it's going to serve you in the long run by making your time more efficient. and then a link to the APU online library, where I recommend you go there every week to find good scholarly peer-reviewed articles and journals that are really necessary and vital for your writing support and for bolstering your writing. If you can show that you're engaging with scholarly literature, that really boosts the just the strength of your writing. So your professors are going to be looking for that. And then tech support as well, which is available 24/7 should you have a tech issue. Okay, so let's pop out of the classroom now and go back to the homepage. I think I'm about done with everything I wanted to share about our course portal. Tara, was there any concluding notes that you had?
There's one little tidbit that I think is so valuable. Drew, if you would hover over your profile picture in the upper right-hand corner, there's a couple things in this corner I want you to pay attention to. This profile is where you go to put your picture. You will really appreciate it if your classmates put up a picture, so you feel like you're all human here in this space together. There's a little spot to say a little something about yourself, about your goals academically, about what your life is like. And it's really valuable to spend a few minutes as you get ready to start school to set that up. The other thing that I wanted to point out is in that profile mode,
Mhm.
yeah, just go back to that menu. We want to go into preferences, and you are going to get about 4,000 emails into your LAPU email box unless you adjust your notification preferences. So this is a screen that lets you go in and say, I do want emails for this, this, not this, yes, this, and you will be automatically subscribed to everything when you first start, and it will save your inbox from a perilous amount of notifications if you go in and kind of thin it out a little bit and say, I do want this, I don't want this. So that's a very personal decision you can make, but we want what's coming into your inbox to matter to you because we communicate with you a lot through your inbox. And as Drew's showing us, it's just really easy to click the button to toggle it on or toggle it off.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. That is another really important note for keeping your notifications manageable. So yeah, thank you, Tara. Notice that most of mine are gray and turned off with good reason. I want to be judicious about how many notifications I'm receiving and try and really, curate that in a way that's most helpful for me. So yeah, that's a great note.
meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah. So perfect. Okay, we're going to slide back out to our myLAPU page, and Tara's going to share with you a little bit about email and student services, I think.
I started to say about email a minute ago. It is the most important way we will communicate with you. Yes, we call, yes, we text, but your email is it's a Gmail account, which means it comes with a lot of perks. But it also is a non-negotiable. We've got to communicate with you this way. Your professors will email you, your coach will email you, your financial aid support folks will email you. So you need to be checking your email pretty much every day. And it's important that it's not a bunch of spam to you because we don't want important messages to get lost. So make it out a habit, sync it to your phone. I highly recommend you just do that if that's your preferred way to try to get information. That way, when a message comes in from financial aid, you can address it right away. You get a response from your professor, you can reply immediately. It's very helpful. But also, because it's a Gmail account, it comes with my favorite thing of all time, which is the Google Drive. It means that you can write your papers or do your homework anywhere. You can log into the internet and it will be saved in your Google Drive forever. And so I think that's so helpful. You will never again get a blue screen of death that eats your paper and takes it into oblivion. Even if your computer crashes, it will be saved up until the moment you log into another computer with internet access. So Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Meet is a great tool to connect with your other classmates or your professors or even your coach if you want to share screens if you're having trouble like figuring out where to go and you need somebody just to walk you through it. Like there's so much of a good system of tools built into the Google suite of products. So all of that is available to you as an LAPU student through your @lapu.edu email address. I think
Right.
now we'll journey into student services.
Perfect.
Student services is kind of like if you were attending a traditional brick and mortar school, you would walk into the registrar's office to pick up a form or to register for classes, or you'd walk into the financial aid office to check on your award or your refund check. This is kind of the place where you get to do that. This landing page, home, as you'll see in that gray box at the top, you're logged in with that single sign-on feature. You noticed it asked Drew to affirm which email address. He picked his LAPU email address. And then if you are, we have a little instruction if you're doing this on a mobile device or if you're on a laptop or desktop, but these buttons will pretty much get you everywhere you need to go. And so this is pretty quick. To check out your aid, your award, you can look at that first one. If you need to make payment arrangements, you can pay your bill on the second one. Registration is a place where you can actually add or drop your own classes or swap them out. We always recommend partnership with your coach, but you have the power to do it, and you should use that power for good and not for evil. I was being silly. Degree progress is your checklist to graduation, and it gives you access to an advising worksheet, which is so important. Forms and petitions, if you have to move and you change your address, we need to know about it. If you change your name for some reason, we need to know about it. If you need to appeal to take an extra class or to repeat another class, or any number of reasons you might need to appeal something, all the petitions you need are there under forms and petitions. And if you ever need to order a transcript to, I don't know, prove to an employer that you're taking classes or any reason at all, that's where you would go to order transcripts. So a lot is accessible to you here on this first page, and that covers most of it. But let me just take a second and walk you to the page that is My Student Profile. So if you go back up to the top, you'll notice that button there. We have a lot more buttons across the top because we're staff, so this screen shows things you won't see. But this has a lot more comprehensive information. You'll notice your student ID number is available to you here on the left column of that center section, My Student Profile. Your ID number is there. Your advising worksheet is also there. Unofficial transcript is there. Tax season is coming up in spring, and so 1098-Ts are the forms that you will access and use to report how much tuition you're paying to the federal government. And that's a necessary form for a lot of students. In the center, there's a whole section on how to register. And on the right, there's a whole section about all of your money. My Student Bill is one of the most useful things that you can get familiar with. And so I'd like to invite you on your own time to click into all of these things and explore them and understand them. And if you have questions, this is where you get to talk to your success coach about your registration or talk to your student account specialist about your student bill. All of that, I think, is stuff you can just kind of explore on your own. I want to go back up to the top and spend just a couple minutes on financial aid resources, because there are a couple of key policies that I need you to be aware of. If you are a student receiving financial aid, that means loans, which is money you have to pay back, or grants, which is money you don't have to pay back. There are some federal guidelines that you need to be aware of. Now, you probably already did entrance counseling. It's probably already top of mind, but we want you to know the fine print before you get started so that there aren't any surprises. And one of the things that you need to do to remain eligible for financial aid is pass your classes and earn credit for your classes. And so those are two things. GPA is measuring whether or not you're passing your classes, and completion rate is determining, like, if you're taking a W, a withdraw from a class, then that might protect your GPA, but it'll still hit your completion rate. And those things have to keep at certain thresholds in order for you to remain eligible. So for undergrads, you need to have a 2.0 GPA, that's a C average or better. For graduate students, you have to have a 3.0 GPA, that's a B average or better. And then both of those populations have to have 67% or better completion rates. That means that if you enroll in 3 classes, you have to complete at least 2 of them with a grade that earns you credit. So it can't be an F, it can't be a W, and it can't be an FN. That leads me into the second thing I want to tell you about. That's something that's called a return to Title IV. And if you just stop attending class, there is a report that we have to make to the federal government for anybody that has been receiving Title IV funding, which is financial aid. And this report says how much school did you attend, and they're going to prorate how much aid you get to keep based on that level of attendance. And so if you have received 100% of your financial aid, but you have only attended 50%, they're going to say, you're going to have to give us 50% of that aid back. And Uncle Sam's going to ask you for a check. And if that check doesn't cover all of your tuition charges, you might also end up owing LAPU some tuition dollars. So I'm sure that this won't apply to any of you, but that's the fine print stuff, at the end of the commercials when they read that long list of things that this really great medicine might actually, it could also do this. This is the stuff I don't want you to be surprised by. The bottom line is keep it moving by attending class every week, be active, be present, keep participating. If some circumstance has befallen you that is too great for you to bear, talk to your success coach and your student account specialist before you just stop participating. They are in your corner. They want you to know what your options are about if you need to stop out, which we hope you don't, but sometimes you do, and what are the best ways forward. I'm going to leave that there. The other things you can do on this page is get to the book voucher request form, which Drew is hovering over presently. There are deadlines for those, but if you just click to fill out that form, you'll be in good shape. So pay attention to all of those deadlines. This is updated regularly with each session. And then down below, I would say it's also just really important in financial aid requirements to go through each one of these things. Make sure you've done the FSAID, the FAFSA, create a student forms account, because 1 out of every 3 students are flagged for verification. It's kind of not a matter of if it's going to happen to you, just a matter of when you're going to get flagged for verification. And so if you have that account, student forms, set up, then you will get notifications pushed right to your phone. If you need to provide an extra document, it's a secure place to scan a doc and upload it without having to run the risk of emailing sensitive personal financial information. The other thing is you need to, number 4 there says, complete your federal loan entrance counseling and your master promissory note. If those things aren't in place, we cannot disperse, the federal government cannot disperse aid from them to LAPU, and that means your bill doesn't get paid and you don't get a refund check. So that's super important because it could actually mean that you get removed from class. So I know this is kind of like not the funnest page to talk through, but it's such an important page that we don't want you to miss out on anything, and we don't want anything to get in the way of you and your goals. So please be sure that you're paying attention to your financial aid offers. Please be sure that you're only borrowing as little as you need to in order to pay for your classes. Please don't get in the habit of taking large refund checks. That will end up being a barrier to you if you do that consistently moving forward, because there are limits on borrowing. And we don't want there to be any barriers between you and graduation. We want you to get there as soon as possible, as smoothly as possible. Drew is hovering over this loan adjustment form, which is where you will go in and say, actually, I don't want to borrow as much as you're trying to give me. Let me ask for less. And that is a great habit to get into so that you don't run out of money to borrow before you finish your degree. Lots more of information is available to you through communications from the financial aid and student accounts offices, and your coach is always going to be there to help you get where you need to go if you have more questions about financial aid. I think we can leave it there for now, Drew, unless you have anything you want to add.
I was only going to add one note about the book voucher form and
Sweet.
just clarifying what exactly it is.
Oh, good idea.
Book voucher forms are there for you, especially when you start the beginning of a semester, session 1, in order to take some of that financial aid package that Tara's just been going over, what that entails. And if you have extra at the end of your tuition being taken into account for that semester, you're going to have a credit balance, not an owing balance. And if you have enough funds left over in that credit balance, well, you can fill out this form. And it's like, and if it gets approved, it's like getting an advance on that credit balance to use on books and materials for your courses that you're going to need at the LAPU Bookstore. Okay, so it's a very helpful thing for students who might not be able to pay for books and such out of pocket and need to get those before any sort of refund check might come in the mail for you, which usually doesn't happen until much later on in the semester. So it's there for you to be able to get an advance potentially so that you can get the books and materials that you need for class and advance on that aid. Okay.
Great.
All right. So we are good on student services, Tara?
I think so.
Okay. Wonderful. We are moving right along. So what I'd love to do is take the baton now and go through our support links here. A lot of good stuff. We mentioned tech support back in the course portal. Again, you're going to find that we like to list some of these helpful places and support systems in multiple areas. So many of these things you're going to find links on the course portal too. You're also going to find links in the myLAPU page, just like we're staring at right now. So tech support, we can click in there, we can take a look, and this is what this is going to look like. And Tara, we are also in the middle of shifting over this, correct, to another provider?
We are, but the student should experience no difference whatsoever.
No, not even on the aesthetic of the page?
Not to my knowledge. I think it
Oh,
will be the same for them.
okay, perfect. So that's a helpful note. So we partner currently with a company called Embanet, and we are moving towards a new company in this upcoming semester. Both provide 24/7 tech support to you, the student, and you should be able to access it in the very same way through a page that looks like this, through either chatting, submitting a ticket, or calling. Okay, so again, 24/7 support. Those are for things like technical things. I can't figure out how to submit my assignment, how to upload a file. Maybe you're having tech issues with your computer. They're there to help support you through that.
24/7, by the way.
24/7. So
We
Christmas
know you do
morning.
homework in the middle of the night, but we hope you're not doing it on holidays
We hope
in
you're
the
not
middle
doing
of
it
the night.
on Christmas, but I don't know, you might.
You
So
might.
there's a
We're
poor
here for
soul on
you.
the other end of that line who's waiting to help you in that situation. There's a saint on the other end of that line.
Truly.
All right. Beneath tech support is a link for check system status. Let's head there real quick. Because we are an online school, we are at the mercy of operating by the efficacy of our systems, our online systems. And this link can show you how those systems are operating, whether or not they are operating well or otherwise. So usually you're going to get this little green check mark of A-OK and all systems go. But occasionally, so we can see here at the APU online library, there was a little sliver of downtime for about an hour there on November the 28th. Same thing on the 29th. So that's all to say you might encounter what seems to be a system that is malfunctioning. And that's one way of checking this link to see whether or not it's a you problem or an us problem. And if there is a red sliver, then that tells you that it's not you, it's us. Okay. So you can use that. You probably won't need to use that very much, but it's there for your convenience. Oops. All right. Beneath that link is our link for tutor.com. Let's check it out. We mentioned that there are links available within your classroom, up at the top of the tabs on the course portal, and also here on the myLAPU site. We mentioned that there are 240 minutes or 4 hours of built-in support that you get every semester that you're a student at LAPU that you can use tutor.com. Let's actually see what it looks like. We can click here, and you're going to find that there are a number of ways that you can utilize this site. Let me go to the client portal. I think that's what I want. The system's changed on me a little bit. So no thanks. Since I last did this. What is this? Tara, help. Get me out of here.
I, I don't know what this is either.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of that. Let's go to preference. Let's see if this works. No. Not. Okay, switch to student view. This, okay. There we go.
Whew,
Woo. Okay,
we
crisis
didn't
averted,
know. We didn't
everyone.
know. We have different views.
Things change sometimes at LAPU, folks. We have to be nimble.
Nimble, agile.
Agile, it's one of our key words. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like for you. It's going to say welcome your name. And there are a number of ways that you can utilize this resource. You can connect with a tutor now. You can schedule a session down the road, or you can also drop off a paper for review. That's one of our favorites. Did you know that you can get a paper with comments back within 12 hours of having submitted that? That's awesome. So that means if you're trying to make that Monday 8 a.m. deadline and it's Saturday night, you can get that paper back by Sunday night, and you can maybe make some edits and some corrections. So again, we hope that's not you waiting to the 11th hour, but let's be honest, I did that a lot as a student, and
Sometimes the last minute's the only minute you have. True.
so sometimes that's crunch time, and that's when you operate at your best, and I get that. So that's all to say, there are a lot of really helpful ways that you can utilize tutor.com. There are some like self-help options down towards the bottom. So like, let's see, uh, take a practice quiz, skills center, where you can do things like quizzes and flashcards, and a number of different things. So check it out. It's really cool. Notice that you can choose your topic for what you want help with, and a certain subject, and just really make it specific towards what you're looking for and customize that so that it can work best for you. I also wanted to show you that on that topic list, there's things there. It doesn't even have to be like school specific. You could choose like career help and then get help with like building your resume. How cool
Yeah.
is that?
So good.
You can get, where is it? You can get,
Study skills or life
thank you.
skills.
You can
Yeah.
get study skills help, like learning about time management
Management.
and
That's a
finding
good one.
scholarly resources. Like that's a huge one. That's a huge one. So again, this is use it or lose it. So take advantage of these people. It's one of the few times you can use that phrase, and it's a good thing. So yeah, take advantage of them. They're there to help you, and the minutes are there. Okay, let's say that you do use up your 240 minutes in the semester because you're in applied statistics, or you're in one of the more demanding classes that you really want to take advantage of this resource. We're not going to leave you in the lurch, we promise. There is also a way to request additional tutoring time right here on the page. Remember that we got to this page from the myLAPU site. And so if that situation hits you, either call your coach, ask how you can be navigated to this form, or if you remember, you can get to this page from myLAPU and then request additional time. We will be really happy to work with you to get you the support that you need. Okay, the writing resource hub, we mentioned that earlier. It's in the helps toolbar of your course portal. Well, you can also get to it from myLAPU, and you're going to be doing a lot of writing, spoiler alert. Whether in the discussions or essays, papers, whatever it is, you're going to be reflecting a lot of your knowledge through your writing. And you're going to want to be honing that skill every chance you get. and we are big about growth mindset here at LAPU. And every week, I would encourage you to think about your writing skills in terms of growth mindset. Am I getting a little bit better and honing my craft, refining my process every single week? And one of the ways you can do that is to head here to the Writing Resource Hub and find what's going to be helpful for you, whether it is formatting in APA or citing. We've been talking about academic integrity in our ISTU 101 course this week. There's a lot of good stuff here about how to properly cite and use your references page. There's stuff about plagiarism, writing essentials. And then I mentioned earlier as well, if you scroll down to the bottom, one of my favorite ways to utilize this page is by using an essay template. You can do that for either Google Docs. As Tara mentioned, the Google Suite can be our best friend. Everything gets
Mhm.
auto-saved in the cloud, or Microsoft Word or Pages as well. So please take advantage of that. LAPU Cares. One of our 3 core values at LAPU is indeed caring, in addition to learning and exemplary.
Mhm.
And we want to reflect that here in this page. If you click on it, it's going to bring you to a lot of insights about what LAPU is offering in terms of your mental well-being, your mental health, which is going to be crucial, obviously, as you're going through and journeying as a student. This is going to be an adventure that is going to be very time consuming. It's going to be a big investment. You're going to be going through the ebbs and flows of life as you go through this process. And that's all a part of this experience. And it's a beautiful part of it. But it also means that there might be certain points throughout your journey where you're feeling a little low, perhaps, or maybe even a little discouraged. Maybe you're going through something with your family. Maybe you're not. Maybe you just want to use this because you're interested in growing as a person. There are so many great applications to utilizing mental health services. And so we encourage you to go here. And one of the ways that you could take advantage, in addition to some of these awesome seminars that some of our professors and faculty have made on topics like grief and stress and anxiety, is by using timely care. I think you need to scroll back up here to get to it. And so you can click on that page and it will take you to the timely care services that we mentioned earlier, that you get 12 sessions throughout the year by being an enrolled student with a licensed counselor in your state. You also have access to on-demand support as well. Offers a 24/7 talk now service. Maybe you're experiencing an emergency or some kind of urgent situation that you need to talk with someone that's outside of your regularly scheduled appointments with a therapist. You can use that too. So so many of our students are finding this is a great resource for them while they're going through their journey, and we really encourage you to use it as well to your benefit. Okay. And lastly, I wanted to take us to our accessibility page where you can head to if you want to connect with our accommodations manager, accessible education manager, Megan Jones. She is fantastic. She would love to be able to connect with you if you are in need of academic accommodations in any given semester. There could be many reasons why you might be requiring that or asking for that. It could be mental health stuff. It could be a physical impairment, like maybe even something that's not ongoing that you suffer. You might have broken your hand or something, and maybe you're a little bit slower typing right now, and you need a little bit more extra time on some of these deadlines. Those are the things that Megan really wants to talk with you about and help you and support you through, and work with your professors and communicate with them so that we're giving you the best care possible and accommodating whatever you are facing so that you can just have the best possible opportunity for success in your classes. So please visit this page. Also talk to your success coaches if that's something you want to pursue. They will also be happy to get you connected with Megan so that you can get the help that you need. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's support. And Tara, you want to take it to resources and close us
Bring it
out?
home. I'd love
Bring
to.
it home.
I think we're probably not actually going to click into too many of these. Let me just point you in this direction so that you know what's here. If you want to buy some bling to represent your life as a student, go to the LAPU store, get yourself a mug, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt. We are proud that you are here, and we hope you feel proud too. And that's the place you can do that. I know Drew and I are representing with our LAPU shirts tonight. I love it. So the other thing that is just above that is the bookstore. And that's where you would actually go to get your textbooks or your lab materials or the things that you need for class. And so that's a little different because they're separated. And in a traditional university model, they might not be separated, but that's the difference between those two things. The library is already accessible in the classroom. And I think we're going to do a future moment to show you how to walk through the library. There are already tutorials. There are already places where you can teach yourself how to navigate it, but your coach is a huge ally and advocate for you in that as well. So I want to plant this seed and just encourage you to take some time. Set aside an hour one day to just explore the library and then ask questions about it. Watch the tutorials, search for something you're interested in, and see how you can refine those search results. That's the kind of stuff that will make you a very capable student much faster. And so spend time on that. The academic catalog is the thing that is like the rule book. It tells you how it works. What are the policies? What are the exceptions to the policy? How do you go about getting an exception? How do you know what the standard is? And so we've got a lot of things in there about, the late work policy. We've got things in there about academic integrity and avoiding plagiarism. And we want to teach you how to be a responsible student in an effective academic way. And the academic catalog has some real solid guardrails for that. The other thing the academic catalog has is the programs that you are enrolled in, and you can see the big picture of how that degree is built. What does it take to earn that degree? Which classes are required? What are the prerequisites for those classes? What are the descriptions for those classes? So it is a vast resource that I recommend you get very familiar with. And I'm sorry, we don't have time to click through it together tonight. But the other thing that we want to leave you with is the academic calendar. I know that if we were in a room all together and I said, how many of you are feeling a little nervous about time management? I know that almost every one of you would raise your hands because it's hard. I think time management as an adult online learner, while you're still trying to go to school, while you're still trying to hold down a job, while you're still trying to care for family, while you're still trying to maybe care for your parents or, renovate your house or deal with crises or manage your health or any number of things that can come up, time management is a challenge. And so this academic calendar is the thing that will help you understand the rhythms of life. And most students who are successful find a rhythm. They can't just show up and keep reacting every day. They have to feel kind of the rhythm of revving and resting, revving and resting. And that's something that's very healthy. That's something that's very sustainable. Think about it like your car. When you get into your car, you can't just pull it up into the red and stay there. The gears have to shift and you got to go down, into something a little bit more sustainable. And so the academic calendar gives you visibility to when sessions starts and when sessions end. And here it works in 8-week increments where the first 8 weeks of a semester for you are going to be the spring 1 semester and the session, and the second 8 weeks of the spring semester are called the spring 2 session. And together, spring 1 plus spring 2 equals the spring semester. And that rhythm will become very familiar to you. But you're going to need to log into the academic calendar, print it out, pop it on your fridge, make sure that everybody in your life knows, oh, classes end that week. We probably shouldn't plan a trip. There's probably going to be finals and papers due and things that need attention, and they can come around and support you because rhythms of life they become pretty predictable. Even if they're intense, you can predict those revving seasons and those resting seasons with some degree of accuracy, if you'll pay attention to that academic calendar. It'll also show you really important things like the last time to add and drop a class is by Friday of the first week, noon Pacific time. You've got to make any class changes or drops or swaps by noon on Friday of week 1. And so it's really lovely that you get a preview weekend, that Saturday before the session officially begins, so that you can get the lay of the land, make sure that it fits for your life and that it works for you. And if you need to make any changes, call your coach first thing Monday of week 1 so that you guys can get that rolling as soon as possible. Um, I think we're going to let you guys explore from here, but we've got a few things we want to say to wrap it up for you.
Indeed, we do. Some coaching tips, if you will. I feel like Tara just gave you a little sneak peek into some helpful tips by just waxing poetic about the revving, and that was good. So I appreciate that. The rhythms of being a student, that's really good. Um, those are some of the little nuggets you get with Tara Lopez.
Oh,
So okay, let's further that thought. And one of the big coaching tips, again, between Tara and myself, we almost have about 2 decades of success coaching experience at LAPU. I don't say that to puff us up. I say that because we hope that we have some really helpful gleanings for you in order to really, again, succeed and flourish and thrive at LAPU. So one of our tips is to stay connected with your success coach. You can call us, you can text us, you can email us at any time. We usually work Monday through Friday, normal business hours. So don't be surprised if we're not reaching out on Saturday night or Sunday morning. But we really do want to walk alongside of you and journey with you in this experience. And the best way that we can do that is by keeping in close touch with you. And we really do like to fancy ourselves an important and valuable resource for you while you're going through your experience here. So if anything comes up that is maybe hardship or adversity, or maybe even you just get to midway through the session, it's week 4 out of 8 weeks, and it's not going very well, please let us know. Give us a call, text us, just say, Drew, Tara, I'm struggling a little bit. That's all we need, really. And then we can maybe schedule an appointment with you. We can look at maybe resources that might help. We can talk about strategizing. We can pray with you and for you. There are just so many ways that we would like to be of support, and the best way to do that is by keeping in good touch with your success coaches. And might I also put a plug in for some of the other amazing staff at LAPU. In addition to your success coach, you have your professors, of course. You
yes.
have your student account specialists. Everyone here is really a community, and we like to think of ourselves as a big team that
Yeah.
is in your corner trying to just help you thrive. So that is one of our tips.
I think one of the other things I would ask you to consider as you get started on this journey is the idea of a growth mindset. And if you're not familiar with it, it basically means that our effort matters, that you guys aren't showing up to college to prove how much you already know. You're coming to college to be transformed, to gain not only knowledge, but habits and character and a lot of things that can only be done through the hard work in the wee hours of the morning, the mastering time management through kind of whiffing at it a couple of times, like we learn things not in this straight upward trajectory. We learn things in this kind of messy path, and it's okay. It's okay if your journey isn't perfect, and it's okay if school feels hard. The thing that's most important about all of that is that you know that your effort is the essential ingredient to getting you to graduation. If you will keep showing up and keep asking questions and keep reading feedback and keep trying, your faithfulness and your effort will pay off. And so have hope about that as you step into it. Don't expect it to be perfect. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be yours and it's going to be good. Especially if you can invite God into it with you. I think there is a way in which we are humbled when we enter into a season of learning. And I think that realizing God goes before you on this journey, it's so special. And knowing that He is with you right now, and He's going to be with you through your coursework, through your A's, through your flubs, through all of these things, He is going to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to close out this time of orientation together with just a prayer of blessing over you. So would you join me in bowing your heads? And I'd love to pray. Father God, you are faithful and you are good. And we thank you for your faithfulness. And I pray that each one of these students would know that you are near to them in this moment, that you have prepared a pathway for them, that you are preparing them, and that you will come alongside them through this whole process. Lord, I pray that you would guide each one in having the discipline of time management, the insight of how to order their lives. Lord, I pray for support from their friends and family to surround them. I pray that you would be at work in them, cultivating a growth mindset and encouraging them about the work they are doing and why it matters. Father, I ask that they would feel hope as they press in to this new season of schoolwork, of learning, of setting goals and reaching them. Father, we pray that you would attend to each one. We speak a blessing over them now in the semester ahead. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. We are done. And thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We are, again, we are so excited for you to be a part of our learning community. We can't wait to meet you. And God bless you as you start this great journey that you've been called to.
Amen.